This session is based on the topic that is beam strength of gear tooth. The beam strength and wear strength are the two criteria based on which generally the gear is designed. So in this particular session we will see the topic that is beam strength. So analysis of bending stress in gear tooth was done by Mr. Wilfred Lewis in his paper that is titled as The Investigation of the Strength. And this analysis is known as Lewis equation, and Lewis equation is considered as basic equation in the design of gear. This particular analysis consider the gear tooth as a cantilever beam. As you can see in this figure that the gear tooth is considered as a beam which is fixed at its base and subjected to tensile load, that is PT, at the top of the gear tooth. The tangential component PT causes the bending moment about the base of the tooth. You can see that tangential force is considered at the tip of the gear tooth, which is equally distributed, and due to this load, tangential load PT, there will be a bending moment at the base of the gear tooth. So this Lewis equation is based on the assumptions that first one is the effect of radial component is neglected. In force analysis of gear tooth, we have discussed that the resultant force can be resolved into two components, and the radial component, which is always directed towards the center of the gear, and that is also known as the separating load. So in this particular analysis, that is beam strength of gear tooth, the effect of radial component is neglected. Effect of radial component PR is neglected. Second assumption, the tangential component PT is uniformly distributed over the width of the gear. So PT is considered as uniformly distributed across the width of the gear, and this situation is possible when the gears are rigid and accurately machined. So gears are considered as rigid. This one also you can consider as one of the assumptions, and also accurately machined gear. Next assumption is the effect of stress concentration is neglected. Since we know that the gear tooth is accurately machined, and because of that reason there is no gear tooth failure like pitting, scoring. Okay? So such defect on the gear tooth profile are considered as absent, because such defects can result into stress concentration. So we are neglecting the stress concentration. This means we are considering the tooth profile is accurately machined and all the dress up processes have been perfectly done. Next is assumption states that at a time only one pair of teeth is in contact and that pair takes the entire load. So the cross section of the tooth varies from free end to fixed end. This one is the free end, while this one, which is which is attached to the cylindrical disc of the gear is the fixed end, due to which the dotted line is shown in the parabola. As the cross section varies from fixed end to free end, so we have considered the imaginary parabolic section. So this dotted line over here is considered, that is nothing but a parabola. So advantage of this parabolic beam is that it forms a beam with uniform strength. So ultimately we are considering this gear tooth as a beam with uniform strength by considering its profile as a parabolic in nature and the resultant force which is acting at the tip of the parabola over here at this particular point. The weakest section of the gear tooth is at section X, where parabola is a tangent to the tooth profile. As we now consider as a parabolic shape of the gear tooth and the resultant force which is acting at this tip, so the weakest section for this particular configuration of gear tooth is at section XX, means at this section, at this place, which is the base of the gear tooth, means tangential force which is acting like this at a distance h from section XX, so where the maximum bending moment acts. So at section XX, bending moment MB equal to PT into H. So for the section XX, MB equal to PT into H, that is the maximum bending moment acts at the base of the gear tooth. The cross section XX is rectangle having size B into T. So I equal to 1 by 12 BT cube and Y is the T by 2. So this formulation we know, that is based on the bending moment theory. So for this section, bending stress, that is sigma B equal to MB Y by I, where MB is nothing but PT into H, Y is T by 2 and I equal to 1 by 12 BT cube. So from this relationship, we can obtain that PT equal to B sigma B into T square by 6H. So now we have PT in terms of B sigma B, T and H. So multiplying the numerator and denominator with module M. So we can have PT equal to M B sigma B in the bracket T square by 6HM. Substituting the term which is in the bracket equal to Y, that means Y equal to T square by 6HM. If we put that, then we can have the equation, that is PT equal to MB sigma B into Y, where Y is nothing but Lewis form factor. So we have PT equal to MB sigma B into Y. Y is the Lewis form factor. So this equation shows that the tangential force PT is related to corresponding stress, that is sigma B. Here PT is related to sigma B, which states that when the force is increased, the stress also increases. There is a linear relationship between PT and sigma B. So when bending stress sigma B reaches the permissible magnitude of bending stresses, the corresponding force PT is called as beam strength. Means beam strength is nothing but the maximum value of tangential force PT at which the bending stress reaches the permissible value. So beam strength is the maximum value of the tangential force Pt that the tooth can transmit without bending failure. So therefore, the above equation, that is Pt mb sigma b into y, can be written as Sb equal to mb sigma by, where Sb is nothing but the beam strength of gear in Newton and sigma b is the permissible bending stress, which is the key one. That depends on the operating condition, as well as the main thing is the material which is used for the gear, that is in Newton per mm square or megapascal. So ultimately we have Sb equal to mb sigma b into y, that is the beam, where Sb is the beam strength. So the beam strength should be more than the effective force between meshing teeth as a design criteria. So therefore Sb should be equal to P effective. So this equation is nothing but the design criteria for design of gear. Now if we consider this equation, that is Sb equal to mb sigma b into y, m and b are same for pinion as well as for the gear. When different materials are used, then product sigma b into y decides the weaker between pinion and gear. When same material is used, then of course the pinion is considered as a weaker, because the y, value of y, Lewis form factor, depends upon the number of teeth that we will see. So here for the different material, the product, that is sigma b into y, will decide which one is the weaker between pinion and gear. The y Lewis form factor is always less for a pinion compared to gear. When same material is used for pinion and gear, the pinion is always considered as a weaker than the gear. So here the design criteria is Sb should be greater than or equal to P effective, that we have to consider, and for the same material, pinion can be considered as a weaker section, and that is the reason why pinion is always considered for the design. So this table summarizes the Lewis form factor Y for 20-degree full depth involute system. In this table we can see that as the number of teeth increases, the value of Lewis form factor, that is Y, is increasing. Means pinion which is having the less number of teeth compared to gear, that's the reason why sigma b into y for the same material, that product will give you the low value compared to that for the gear, and because of that reason pinion is considered as a weaker section. Next is the permissible bending stress. The gear teeth are subjected to fluctuating stresses. Therefore, endurance limit stress will be criteria for the gear design. The endurance limit stress of the gear depends upon the following factor, that is nothing but the surface finish of gear tooth, size of the gear tooth, reliability used in design, stress concentration in gear tooth, rotation of gear tooth, and stress direction. Buckingham has suggested that endurance limit stress of the gear tooth is approximately 1/3 of ultimate tensile strength of material. In case of bronze gears, the endurance limit stress is taken as 40% of ultimate tensile stress. So ultimately sigma b equal to 1/3 of ultimate tensile stress. So now we will see the beam strength of helical gear. We know that The beam strength is nothing but the maximum value of tangential force that the tooth can transmit without bending failure. In order to determine the beam strength of helical gear, the gear is considered to be an equivalent of a formative spur gear. The concept of formative spur gear we have discussed while we have discussed the topic, that is virtual number of teeth on helical gear. So that you can refer to understand what is formative spur gear. Figure A represents the helical gear, which is having the tooth profile which is inclined with the axis at an angle psi, that is nothing but the helix angle. The formative spur gear is an imaginary gear which is considered by taking the section of the helical gear at the normal to the tooth profile. The pitch circle diameter of formative gear is d dash and number of teeth is z dash and the module is mn. So the equation will be as follows, that is b equal to b by cos psi. Here you can see that this b represents the width of the gear, where b dash represents the face width of the gear which is parallel to the gear tooth profile. And from this figure we can say that SB equal to SBN for the beam strength of the helical gear. So why is the Lewis form factor based on virtual number of teeth, that is Z dash. This virtual number of teeth are on the formative spur gear for the particular helical gear. So the beam strength will be now, that is SBN equal to Mn is the normal module, B is replaced by B by cos psi, sigma B is the bending stress, and Y, here this Y is based on the virtual number of teeth on formative spur gear. So from the figure B, from this particular figure, we can say that SB is the component of SBN in the plane of rotation, which is SB equal to SBN into cos psi. So from this figure B, we can say that SB is nothing but the SBN into cos psi. So if we substitute this, we will end up with this SB equal to Mn B sigma B into Y, which is same as the beam strength of the spur gear, but here the Y is considered, that is Lewis form factor based on the virtual number of teeth on the formative spur gear for a particular helical gear. So to avoid the failure, again the design criteria is SB should be greater than equal to P effective, or if the factor of safety is known, then SB, that is beam strength of the gear, equal to P effective into factor of safety. So ultimately these are nothing but the design criteria based on the beam strength of gear.